So, does anybody else feel like Halo is trying to be the new Game of Thrones? Or is that just me? It's just me? No, it's gotta be somebody else that feels like that, right? Anyway, hey YouTube, my name's Eric. Welcome to my channel. I'm a nerd, I'm a gamer. I want to start making a lot of money at some point in my life and be a millionaire by the time I'm 40. So this is my journey, but currently I've been watching Halo, and I've had a very rocky relationship with this show now. Spoilers for Halo episodes 1 through 8 on Paramount Plus. So, moving into that, episode 1 starts off pretty good, you know, so we're introduced to this planet that mines fuel for the starships. It's like, okay, sure, okay, so it kind of makes sense why they're here. You know, the Spartans drop down and fight the Covenant when they show up, and it's like, okay, yeah, this is cool, I can get into this. And they find a relic. And I was like, okay, cool, I found some foreigner artifacts. Alright, this is pretty typical Halo. They made the Master Chief very robotic at first, and everybody is like all pissy about him taking off his helmet, but like, honestly, I could care less about him taking off his helmet. Like, that's just, the video game, it didn't make sense for him to take his helmet off. In the TV show, to be a relatable character, you're pretty much gonna need to see his face. The game, you're meant to imprint yourself on the Master Chief character, so, I don't know. But anyway, for the people that have been watching Halo and are hating on it because it's different than the game, it's a different story, like, look, this is just an alternate universe, and like, don't give me the, oh, well, it's still not a good story bullshit, because, I mean, it's been hit and miss on that. But anyway, the point I'm trying to get at is Marvel does this all the time. You've got your original Marvel comics, and that form of media still exists, but when you translate that form of media into, say, a movie, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like Spider-Man Homecoming movie is very different than, like, early Spider-Man comics. You know? Tony Stark didn't give him a suit and a bunch of stuff. Allow this thing to be its own thing, and then you still always have the originals to go back to. Like, you have the story of Halo, you have the books, you have all the other media content that you can consume. So that's my piece on that. Anyway, back to the show itself. After episode 1, I was feeling pretty good. Episode 2, 3, and 4 come along, and I'm like, okay, I mean, I don't really understand all this stuff they're wanting to do with Quan Ha, but alright, let's go for it. I'm gonna give them till the end of the season, see how things are going. So then we get to introduce to the Blessed One, so only people like her and Chief can actually touch, or, well, not touch, but interact with the Forerunner artifacts. At least we assume they're Forerunner. I guess they could change that. I did find it interesting that the Covenant have a human of their own, because that was like a big thing in the Halo series, was that, you know, the Covenant can't interact with Forerunner technology because, like, it was meant for humans. The Forerunners passed on their technology and the mantle of protectors of the universe to humanity. So therefore, like, the Sangheili, the Covenant, like, any member of the Covenant can't actually interact with them or activate the objects, so that's why it's important for them to have a human. So it's like, okay, you know, so that storyline actually made sense to me. Like, cool. And then she gets naked, and I'm like, it's Halo. This chick's naked now. Okay, whatever, sure. But we keep moving on, and then eventually Cortana gets introduced, and I'm like, okay, actually I like what's going on with Cortana right now. They got a lot of the backstory of, like, Spartans and how Cortana was created, and Halsey. Everything related to those three things all works pretty well in this universe, in my opinion. The stuff that doesn't work as well is, like, they're getting into this very mysticism route when it comes to the Forerunner technology. It's like, it's not just technology, it's like almost magic, and that's something in the show that, like, well, at least in the games, it was brought up, like, you know, their technology was quite advanced and it's going to seem like magic to us, but, you know, I feel like this is, like, taking a step a little bit too far, but, you know, we're only on episode 8, so we'll have to see where the series goes by the time the first season's over. But episode 5 comes around with this huge battle sequence. Super freaking cool. Feels like Halo. Great on all accords. Especially like in the games, you don't get a lot of gore. There's, enough blood, but like, man, like Jackal's getting cut in half, and like Marines getting like exploded by plasma weapons. Pretty freaking cool. Alright, so episode 5's a good time. Episode 6 and 7, we're back kind of focusing more with Kwan Ha and her storyline. And it's like, what are they trying to get at here with this character? Like, I don't get it. I understand, like, it's cool that they're referencing the Civil War that the UNSC was going through prior to dealing with the Covenant. Because, like, that's why the Spartans were created initially, was to, like, help trounce these uprisings of other nations throughout in UNSC territory. So, yeah, kind of messed up. But that's the same lore so far. So Kwan Ha's story turns out that her family has been protecting a portal that leads to the Halo for generations. And it's like, oh, okay. So that explains why this is happening, but like, this feels like a very unnecessary story element of things that, like, just, that's the part of the show that's working the least for me right now, other than the sex scenes, which are in episode 8. As far as Kwan Ha's concerned, like, oh man, she's going to guide Master Chief to the portal to the Halo. Like, okay, I mean, I feel like they could have easily have written that, like, the artifact guides them to the Halo ring. That would have been pretty simple. But no, they decided not to go with that. And then, so we get episode 8. The blonde-haired chick lady, she's the thing that she gives me major Khaleesi vibes, and, like, she's not as good of a character at all. But, oh, man. They did something in this episode where they had her sleep with the Master Chief, think, maybe I should kill him, and then rip her little nail sword out of her finger, throw it away, and decide that, okay, I trust Master Chief to activate the Great Journey. Okay. And then by the end of the episode rolls around, she hates humanity again and is against him. And I'm just like, what? And then in the middle of all that, they had sex. Like, what? Why? And Cortana is just kind of chilling in the background, like, oh, okay, like, jeez, why? Halsey's been great throughout this whole thing, by the way. Like, that actress that got to play her, I can't think of her name at the moment, but she's been great. Pablo Schreiber as Master Chief has been great. Some decision-making things by the showrunners, I'm like, what are you doing? And I can tell you, as of episode 8, I am a lot less on board than I used to be. And I don't hate the show at this point, but I'm just questioning some of their decision-making. Like, why? Why is this happening like this? And I really think it just comes down to they want to be the next Game of Thrones, and I just don't think Halo is the show to do that. But I could be wrong. We'll see. They already approved for a second season, and apparently it's getting great critical ratings around the world. As far as, like, the gamer community goes, though, Halo gamers hate the show. I am a casual Halo gamer and fan. I enjoy the show enough right now. But we'll see by the end of the season. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. What parts of the show have you liked, if any of it at all? Or, like, what is, like, the specific thing that's making you hate the show? So let me know down in the comments. Like and subscribe. That like button really helps other people find the video, so I really appreciate it when you guys hit it. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching.